So straight on here with example number 4, we've been asked to find the quartiles of this data set, and just as we saw in the previous example, the first thing to do is get that data set in ascending order. So we're looking along the numbers for the smallest one, which is 2 in this case, and then just listing the rest of these data items in order of size. So a couple of 5s. As I said in an earlier example, some people like to cross them off once they've found them, just to show they've all gone. We can see we've just got 7 and 8 left to deal with. And that's our data set in ascending order. Now, like we saw in the last example, you can do a little calculation here to find the position of the median. Now this is maybe not quite so relevant when you've got just a small data set. We've only got 6 values here, but as the data sets get larger and larger, this can be really useful. So the way to find the position of the median, regardless of how many items is in the data set, is to use this little calculation, n plus 1 over 2, where n is the number of items. So we get 6 plus 1 over 2, which is 7 plus, 6 plus 1 over 2, which is 7 over 2, which is 3.5, which means the median is at position 3.5 in this list. Now obviously this is position 1, 2, 3, 4, this is position 4, so position 3.5 is actually halfway between these two data items. Now halfway between 5 and 5 is of course 5. Don't be tempted to think it's 5.5 here. These are the same, so the midpoint between 5 and 5 is of course just 5. But what that's done is it's split our data set into 2 halves, and then we can examine the lower half of the data set and find its median, and in this case it's clearly standing out as the middle value of 3 there. And then we can also look at the top half of the data set, so ignoring this line and everything before it, just looking at these 3 values, the top half of the data set, it's clear that that data item is in the middle of that top half. So that allows us to say that quartile 1 is equal to 3, that's the lower quartile it's called. Quartile 2, which is also known as the median, is in fact halfway between 5 and 5, which is just 5. And then quartile 3, which is known as the upper quartile, is 7 in this case.